This song is dope. All right, let's get into this episode. How to use other people's content to grow your brand. All right, so you may be asking, why would I want to use other people's content to grow your brand? Shouldn't you create absolutely unique content? Well, first, you may not have the time or the resources available to create relatively new content that you came up with, especially the time. But the content already exists and it helps you convey your brand's message. So all you pretty much have to do is curate that content and distribute it, and eventually you'll build that audience. So I'm gonna give about like 3, maybe 4 effective strategies or ways to go about it of curating content and then distributing it effectively to grow your social media presence. So number 1, define or identify your brand's message. What are you trying to do? What is your mission? Is it a business? Are you trying to grow? You need to understand the type of audience that you're trying to build. And by the time, when you start realizing that, jot that down on a piece of paper. When you really narrow it down, who this audience is, then you find out what their interests are. Now, hopefully it's something that you're interested in and that you enjoy, so you can distribute that content. You may, for a year down the road, sell a product or a service to these users that you've grown a base to due to the amount of content that you distributed and captured that. You started engaging with that audience and they started following your, whatever, it could be Instagram account, YouTube account, Twitter, whatever social media platform it is. This is relative to almost any type of social media platform that you could use this type of strategy. So now you identified your brand's message, your brand's voice, your goals, what you want to accomplish. Next, start figuring out your target audience. What are their interests? Who are they currently following? Is this currently on Instagram? Are you trying to grow an Instagram account that you'll be distributing content? Is this a YouTube account? Now, after you start realizing who your target audience is, then you can really come up with a great strategy, like basically create ads, effective ads that really target these people so they could see your social media presence, your brand. So you create these captivating headlines. You could promote it on an Instagram account. Let's say if they're already following, let's say if you wanted to create an account, a motivational, inspiring account, like to how to be a millionaire, how to succeed in life. Well, there's already all these accounts that exist that have millions of followers that now you could promote your account. You have to reach out to them and promote your type of content, your content that you've curated to promote on other people's channels. So number 3 is really, you're building that foundation. You start grabbing all this content here and there. You're going on the internet, you're typing in information that you want to seek. We're gonna really specifically narrow it down to, let's say if you want to capture young entrepreneurs, right? Young entrepreneurs are always seeking for advice. They're always looking for motivational quotes. They're always looking for how to do something, what to do at the age of 21 to have a better life at 30, how to build a business, and always, obviously, motivational quotes that you'll see everywhere. And they always obviously want to know what their idols have done in the past. I have a bunch of idols. Steve Jobs, there is a bunch of others, so I can't even think of my head. Well, Steve Jobs is a huge one, and people always wonder, like, how did they start? What did they do? And there's always these quotes that just come out of nowhere, and you're like, wow. For instance, The Rock, I see this quote a lot. And guess what? He's one of the richest entertainers in 2016 making. So yeah, you build that foundation and people will come. This is, again, this foundation that you're building is for, and always think, am I getting the right people? Am I distributing the content that is necessary to attract the right audience for whatever your goal is? And that goes back to number 1, when you're defining your brand's message and your mission. And I'm gonna give you a few examples of what people have done in the past. There's a very successful YouTube channel that really, I believe how he started, his name is Evan Carmichael. Great YouTube channel. I'll link it above or below. His account, I love it. I subscribe to him, where he takes a bunch of idols. Let's say, for instance, Steve Jobs or the founder of Alibaba, I think it's John Ma, where he takes like excerpts of speeches they've taken.
If you're not having fun doing it, you don't really love it, you're gonna give up.
He identifies, I believe, he has a show. One of his playlists is in the top 10 motivational or advices these people have given in different types of scenes. So he took all these excerpts and they all have a very common pattern. What they say, almost the same thing, but in different perspectives. It's actually really great. I suggest you subscribe to him, but you'll see what I mean. And he's grown, I believe he has over 300,000 subscribers. I believe he started about maybe a year and a half ago. Great channel, and he's grown a successful business from it, from what I see. And that's what I mean. He's basically taken other people's content, at least in that playlist, and I think that's how he maybe have started. And he started putting them into interesting clips that really captivate the audience. Instead of watching a 2-hour speech of an anecdote or anything, he really summed it down to like what you're interested in. Wow, this is what Steve Jobs says. Wow, this is what John Ma said. This is how he started. Wow, I didn't know that he was looking for, he really started, I don't know if he was seeking investors at one time. I remember a little sidetrack here. John Ma, I remember the way he came up with the name Alibaba.
So I went on the street, asked about 10, 20 people. They all know about Alibaba, 40 Thieves, and Open Sesame. And I think this is a good name. And start with A. Whatever you talk about, Alibaba is always top.
There's probably a bunch of other YouTube accounts just like that. But another one, it's a very little different, is like a Vine, a generic Vine account. So you might be thinking like, why do these people create these generic Vine? Well, think about it. These people are people just like me and you, right? That found funny Vines, hilarious Vines, entertaining.
Push, Amanda, come on! Let's push! Push faster, harder, come on! You got this! Amanda! You suck! Shit, I'm out of here!
And grown a substantial amount of user base because you know why? They're funny, they're short clips that they found interesting, and now they're distributing it amongst a user that are interested in it. Instead of watching long Vines from different channels, it's all compiled into one channel. And they've grown over millions of subscribers, and obviously they're monetizing via advertising or whatever, their goal is. That whoever's behind those accounts has a goal. They could even sell something that's, since they have analytics for the people that do watch these videos, for their videos, they could sell anything they probably want, depending again what the product is or service and whatnot. Here's a few examples of some Instagram accounts that have started really by distributing other people's content. I'm sure you guys, I don't know if you've heard, the Instagram called Founder, and there's another Instagram called Think, Grow, Prosper. I believe they accumulate about 2.4 million followers. Founder has a publication for young entrepreneurs. And I remember how these accounts started. They really took other people's quotes, put it on an engaging image. So because people relate to it, it gets emotionally attached. People feel that emotion, they can relate to it. So what does that do? When you get that emotional attachment, when you can relate it to something, when you see content, it's like, oh wow, this is really engaging. You start tagging people. So these accounts grew really relatively fast because I know they were one of the originals that were, now there's like tons of like these motivational pages. So it is harder to grow, but again, it's possible. You just gotta be you gotta add a little twist to each type of information to really differentiate yourself from the competitors or from the crowd. So, we have Founder, we have Think, Grow, Prosper, and we have actually a good friend of mine, Farah Mary, who's started her business, Inspire Me Home Decor. I remember her, and it's still like that. It's a page that is curated based on her interest of interior design, like what she likes, she posts, and it's other people's works, giving them credit and so forth. I remember when I asked her, when she originally started, she couldn't find any account on Instagram that really portrays her style. So she's like, what the hell, why don't I just create an account? So yeah, she just started grabbing a lot of this content and started posting, and 4 years later, she's at 3.5 million. It's a big difference between 2 and 3.5 million. 3.5 million, she's done a great job growing her brand on Instagram by sharing other people's content and now sharing, obviously, her work, and now started her YouTube channel, which I'll link as well. That's growing relatively fast because people are interested in her tips, her DIYs, and everything else. So she's done a great job. And again, it all really started from distributing content that already exists, right? But curating it based on what you like and then capturing that audience throughout. And it just happens. And it doesn't just happen overnight. It takes time. It takes time, and it takes daily type of content. It's not giving up. It is being consistent and really having a really defined strategy. So I hope these strategies helped. If you have any questions, or you have an opinion or something I may have left out, which I probably have, please leave it in the comment below. I got a lot more content coming your way. So if I were you, I'd subscribe. I think we got the subscribe button here now, which should give you the most recent upload, and it's a lot of fun, so stay tuned.